Hey, this is Keith from Save the Rust. And today, I'm going to ask that question that I get posed every now and then. I want to restore a motorcycle. Where do I start? Well, one of the first things you're going to have to figure out is why. Why do you want to restore it? Is it because you have a connection to that type of bike? You want the challenge of restoring a bike? You want to display it? You want to ride it? There is a bunch of reasons. And that's what you have to ask yourself first. Why? And it could be as simple as my grandfather had one. I always wanted that model, and so on and so on. Now, before we get really involved in this, I want to kind of get to the idea of what is restoration. And for me, restoration is as it came from the factory. So it's a real kind of a slippery slope where people use restoration, that term, and to some people, it goes all over the map as far as the condition that they're attaining. To me, restoration is as it came from the factory in every way, shape, and form. Like as perfect as it can get. The correct hardware, the correct finish, the correct paint, the correct markings, and this is something that is not easily attained. And one of the other questions about why is, let's say you want to display it in the antique motorcycle world. If you want to get your bike judged at like a AMCA event, they're going to judge you, and it's going to go on every specific thing on your bike. The finish on every bolt and every piece of hardware, everything. And then it's out of, up to 100%. So this is really a slippery slope, because if you're going to go to that extreme, you're probably not going to ride it. That's probably not going to be your end result, because you're trying to attain this perfection level. So then the other sense is you're restoring it to ride it, or you're restoring it to display it. So there's a lot of variables on the word restoration. People use it to just say, they took this 1970s Japanese motorcycle and cleaned it up and they restored it. Now, use it however you want, but I kind of like the word restoration, because it's not a perfect representation of the bike. But you're rebuilding it. There is elements of restoration involved. So the term restoration is however you want to describe it and use it, that's up to you. My own personal opinion is as perfect as it came from the factory. Okay, second, what's the connection? Like I said, your grandfather had one, or you always wanted one. Is that going to be enough to get you through that process? Again, at what level are you restoring it to? So there's a lot of variables here. A lot of things that have to come into effect is, for one, what's your skill set? And never just use what your current skill set is. Always attain for more. How do you learn? By doing. So, yeah, not everything is going to be what you know right now, and that's the beauty of it. You're going to learn things as you do the process, and that's what's going to make you a better restorer, a better builder, and just more knowledgeable on old motorcycles. We are never born with all this experience. It's all attained. So if you're going to restore a motorcycle, you're going to do things that you don't know how to do. Certain things you have to leave to professionals. Certain things you don't have the equipment or the skill set. But a lot of things you can learn as you're going. Polishing, aluminum, wiring. There's a lot of factors that come involved in restoring a bike. So you're gonna start with a skill set like your current skill set, but I'm guarantee you by the end of that restoration, you're going to have more. So that's the beauty of it, is you're going to learn. So looking at the bike that you're thinking of buying, again, so many variables. This is a big spectrum of thoughts and ideas. So the bike you want to restore, first off, again, skill set, budget. Do you have the room to do this? What kind of tools do you have? Because that all plays into effect. If you're looking at a British bike and typically you've only owned American bikes, now you have to look at different wrenches and different, all the hardware is different. There's a lot of different things that you have to get into. So let's say you break a bolt off and you don't have a tap, but you have a taps for American. Well, that doesn't work with British because they're all different. So one of the things you're going to want to look at is, again, what is the bike you're going to look at restoring and why? And again, that has to be enough to propel you through the entire process, because there's going to be highs and lows. There's going to be things that you can anticipate and some you can't. So again, let's say you got this bike and you're looking at it. Is your end result to keep it forever, to sell it once you're done? And that has to come into effect. So, because you don't want to, put out $5,000 and sell it for $1,000. You want to put out $5,000 and sell it for $10,000. If that's your end game, if that's what you're looking to do, is, continuously restore and then sell. So when you're looking at the bike that you wanted to restore, again, I'm in Canada. If you want to get into British bikes, you're going to need some more tools. You're going to need some more hardware. There's going to be some of the wiring components are really different. If you go into the Japanese, lots of parts, like as far as used parts, lots available, because they made so many. The problem is with the Japanese bikes is that they changed so frequently. It could go on year to year, every 2 to 3, and it could be as little as just the different kicker, or it can be a complete engine change. And it's tough to get sometimes the specific parts for that exact model and year. And for example, we were doing a couple of Honda dirt bikes, a CR125, CR250, and one component that the antifreeze goes into is made out of magnesium. Well, the 125, there was one place in Europe that made it a replacement cover. For the 250, there was one place in Australia that made the cover. Every other cover that was used was deteriorated like the one we had. So there's a cost to that. So, looking at that kind of stuff, think about what's your end game? Ride it, show it, display it. And when I talk ride, are you going to, is it just in town, on off road, highway, moto camping, all this stuff. So there's so many variables. You have to kind of, why you want to do this one specific bike. So when you're looking at it, this stuff, and I'm kind of bouncing around here because there's so much to talk about and so much variables when it comes down to choosing the right bike to restore and why. One of the other things I'm going to get into is, look at parts availability. It's tough to restore something if the parts aren't available. And again, getting back to that CR125, CR250, there's one place in the world that made these parts. And there are certain parts that when you're restoring something, no one makes copies of it. No one makes that part, and they have it in 50 years. Now, is there a source for those parts? Can you retrofit something different? So the first thing is when you're choosing your bike, choose it on a bunch of stuff. Initial cost, end result as far as cost, like how much is it going to cost you to restore? What's it worth at the end? Parts availability, and do you have a mentor or someone that can help you with this? And what's available? You know, the biggest thing is what's available as far as the bike that you're looking for and the parts available. You know, I'm going to draw on my own experience. Harley 45. You know, out of all the Harleys out there, there is a lot of new old stock parts on eBay every single day. And this is 80 years old. So this is one of the things that you have to look at. Another thing is rarity, the parts manuals you get, how good they are. The one thing I'll say about Harleys is their parts manuals are unbelievable. They really, I have yet to see anybody who does a parts manual as well as a Harley. When you look at a Harley parts manual for, let's say, this bike, there's a glossary at the back. And let's say they tell you this, you know, this bolt here is part number 5103. Well, you go in the back of the book, it'll tell you that bolt 5103 is 3/8 fine by 1 1/4 inch long. So it's, you know, that's a lot of information. And there's a lot of other bikes that, you know, we've rebuilt that they don't have that. It's not that specific. Like, you know, we're doing a couple of Indians, and it's not nearly as detailed as I find, at least. And it's tough to find. So then again, if I'm going to use this bike as an example, when we're talking about Japanese bikes and how their parts changed every year, a bike like this, well, this motor came out in 1937 and it ran till 1973. So that's like 36 years. That's a lot of time for used parts, new parts. So there's a lot of availability on a bike like this. So there's again, there's so much to figure out when you're looking at restoring a bike or purchasing it. Do your homework, okay? Look at the bike you want. Look at the parts availability, your skill set, your budget, and what it's going to cost, because it's crazy how much it costs for paint, engine repair, powder coat, chrome, etc., tires. Everything adds up, right? And then at the end, look, because you kind of want to at least have your initial investment and your parts of investment at least what it's worth. Your time, you might not get paid for it, and that's just part of it. You know, you're not doing this. If you're doing this to get paid, well, that's another level, okay? So it's tough one to, like, when people ask me, you know, oh, yeah, I want to restore a bike, where do I start? There's a lot of things you have to answer yourself. You know, again, everything I've already mentioned and more. It's tough to get into, but the reward is exceptional. Like taking a bike like this one from a frame, from parts, and putting it back on the road, putting it back into a complete bike, is a really great feeling. And it's, you know, in the end, it's something you did, and you can take credit for it. It's some of these bikes like this one will probably be here long after I'm gone. So any questions, any comments, you know, hey, throw them down. You know, I'll help you out as much as I can. Part of this channel is to, like, help educate people and bring you along on this journey of restoring bikes, and the good, the bad, the ugly, the fun, the highs, the lows. And I just thought, you know, today I kind of wanted to just talk out to you guys and you know, talk about restoring a bike and getting into it. So I encourage you all to restore a bike once, if for nothing else, so you get some kind of appreciation for all those people like me who put these things together and try and pull these bikes from hunks of junk and forgotten pieces to roadworthy, safe motorcycles once again. So hit the comments. Let me see what you think, and or what you're working on, because that's part of it, like supporting each other. And this is Keith from Save the Rest. This is who we are. This is what we do. Have a great day.